Are you ready to cook?
I am ready. I'm super excited.
Okay, I'm ready to have you in my kitchen here.
We're in the kitchen with a culinary icon.
So now all we have to do is get the temperature right, and then we're in good shape.
Wolfgang Puck.
The oil has to be really hot, about 370 degrees.
Today, I'm getting a lesson in schnitzel, a dish from the chef's childhood back in Austria. So chef, tell me a little bit about Wiener Schnitzel and what it means to you.
My mother was such a good cook. The smell when she made Wiener Schnitzel was amazing.
The smell, the sizzle, bringing back vivid memories for a man who came from humble beginnings.
Yeah, we used to make the Wiener Schnitzel with pork because veal was way too expensive. So we pound it nice and thin like a scallopini.
Reminiscing. It's something the 71-year-old has been doing a lot these days as he takes a look back on the empire he's built. 25 upscale restaurants worldwide, 80 cafes, and countless television appearances.
You have to have some mashed potatoes with the meatloaf. Sure.
And cooking for the who's who of high society and Hollywood. 30 years in the game, creating the blueprint for the modern chef and changing the way Americans dine. Now he's unpacking it all in the self-titled documentary Wolfgang, streaming on Disney+. Disney is the parent company of ABC News. The doc follows Wolfgang back to his childhood hometown in Austria, where his journey began.
Und zwar habe ich Kasnudeln gemacht.
Growing up in a tumultuous household, the kitchen served as a refuge for a young Wolfgang.
One of the first things you say in the documentary is, I don't really like talking about my past.
It is true. For years and years, I actually never talked about my past. I had a stepfather who was like a terrorist to me and to my sister, to my mother. He was drunk. He was abusive, both physically and mentally.
Those raw moments brought to light by renowned director David Gelb.
Was he a tough nut to crack?
He wanted to go there because it was time. He really wanted to leave his story, leave his legacy, something for his kids to watch, something for young chefs to watch and be inspired by. His stepfather was telling him that he was worthless and would never amount to anything. He went out and proved him wrong, and it's really an inspiring story, and that's something that he was ready to tell.
Now the storied Michelin star chef is sharing it all, those intimate memories of early struggles shaping who he's become today.
I was 14 years old. Finally, I could leave the house and start an apprenticeship as a cook. One Sunday, like 4 weeks into my apprenticeship, we ran out of potatoes. We ran out of mashed potatoes. And the chef calls me over at the end, screaming at me. He was as crazy as my stepfather, I think. And I said, "You're fired, get out of here, it's all your fault." So I stood on the bridge, which go over this big river we had there, and looked down. I said, "I'm just gonna jump in the river. I don't wanna go home."
You thought about killing yourself?
Yeah, I thought about killing myself. I was standing on the bridge, looking down, and then all of a sudden, in my head, like a light bulb went on, and I said, "I'm just gonna go back tomorrow and see what happened."
That epiphany, a life-changing moment for the then aspiring chef, whose persistence allowed him to return. And from there, he never looked back. After a pit stop in France, Wolfgang planted his roots in Southern California, where after working to prove himself, he'd opened the world-renowned Spago in 1982.
To my surprise, from the first day, it became an instant success. It was an amazing feeling.
You'd have an 8:30 reservation, and if you were lucky, maybe you'd get seated at 10.
You dethroned the restaurateur, who was king in America at that time.
You know, you said it really well. In the old time, the chef was always behind somewhere. Nobody knew the chef's name. And when we opened Spago, the kitchen was in the dining room, so we had this open kitchen. So when people came in, when Billy Wilder came in with Gregory Peck and Sidney Poitier, whatever, I waved at them and said, "Hello," you know, and I told them, "Oh, I found this fish today at the fish market." That way we have nothing to hide, so here the customer could see what is going on. Put them on the fire, we need for 20 people. I'm gonna go in the dining room, okay? Yes, chef. I'll see you in a few minutes.
And with Spago, Wolfgang changed what the possible meant for a chef.
Hello, how are you? How are you?
Wolf brought the chef into the limelight as someone to be talked about, someone to be written about.
Wolfgang kind of set this path that you can be both a TV star and a chef at the same time.
For Gelb, who directed iconic food projects like Jiro Dreams of Sushi and Chef's Table, capturing Wolfgang was a treat in itself.
He's on the move. He is the director of his many restaurants and everyone. So it's a little bit intimidating to come into his space. His restaurants are incredibly busy. So things get loud, things get intense, and it's wild, it's fun.
But beyond his celebrity, the documentary highlights the icon's relationship with his family. Busy during his kid's childhood, Wolfgang is now making up for it, cooking side by side with his son Byron, who is following in his footsteps.
You're gonna put the egg in there?
Yeah, do that.
Okay, here, I'll help you.
Thank you.
We'll put that on, put the shells in.
Nailed it. I started working at Spago as a 13-year-old, peeling potatoes. And seeing him there as the kind of leader was just amazing for me to watch as a kid. Folks, we enjoying ourselves over here?
As a younger chef, I think I was so absorbed in my profession of becoming successful that I neglected my duty as a father. But now, it's a great thing to work with my son in the business. And I think for a father, there's nothing better than seeing your kids successful.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.